I want to show you these two powerful speeches. The second one seriously almost made me cry. I'm not exaggerating, and I almost never cry. So you have to stay tuned, but the first one was from ex-NFL player Herschel Walker.
I'm not an actor, a singer, or a politician. I'm Herschel Walker. Most of you know me as a football player, but I'm also a father, a man of faith, and a very good judge of character. I've known Donald Trump for 37 years, and I don't mean just casual ran into him from time to time. I'm talking about a deep personal friendship. I watched him as an owner of a professional football team. Right after he bought the team, he set out to learn. He learned about the history of the team, the players, the coaches, every detail. Then he used what he learned to make the team better. I watched him in the boardroom. He can be in the middle of a big meeting, but if one of the kids was on the phone, he dropped everything to take the call. He taught me that the family should be your top priority. I watched him treat janitors, security guards, and waiters the same way he would treat a VIP. He made them feel special because he knew they were. He understands that they are the people who make this country run. They clean, they cook, they build, they drive, they deliver. He told me, Herschel, make an effort to get to know people. Remember their names. That stuck with me. One time, I planned to take his kids to Disney World with my family. At the last minute, Donald said he'd like to join us. So there he was, in a business suit, on It's a Small World ride. That was something to see. It just shows you what a caring, loving father he is. It hurt my soul to hear the terrible names that people call Donald. The worst one is racist. I take it as a personal insult that people would think I've had a 37-year friendship with a racist. People who think that don't know what they're talking about. Growing up in the Deep South, I've seen racism up close. I know what it is, and it isn't Donald Trump. Just because someone loves and respects the flag, our national anthem, and our country, doesn't mean they don't care about social justice. I care about all those things. So does Donald Trump. He shows how much he cares about social justice in the black community through his actions. And his action speaks louder than stickers or slogans on a jersey. He keeps right on fighting to improve the lives of black Americans and all Americans. He works night and day. He never stops. He leaves nothing on the field. Some people don't like his style, the way he knocks down obstacles that get in the way of his goals. People on the opposing team didn't like when I ran over them either, but that's how you get the job done. I pray every night that God gives him more time. Give him 4 more years. He has accomplished so much almost all by himself on a constant attack, but there's still more work to be done. If you love America and want to make it better, Donald Trump is your president. He's my president, and I'm blessed to call him friend.
This was at the Republican National Convention, and politics aside, I like authenticity. I like something real. I hate phonies. I hate fakes. I don't like political correctness. And that was authentic. That was real. You could feel it. You could see it. Honest people know that, regardless of your ethnicity, race, or gender. That 3 minutes alone was more authentic, more honest, and more real than anything at the Democratic Party National Convention. It was such a clown show, so much phony pandering, lies, anger and hatred disguised as truth and love. It couldn't possibly be more fake, and it's getting kind of evil. Before Trump, I couldn't stand Republicans, but it's clear they're more honest, more authentic, willing to save this country and do what's right to make it safe, and the left is just spiraling out of control. I hate to say it, but it's just true. But check out the full speech of Maximo Alvarez. It's seriously incredible.
My name is Maximo Alvarez. I live in Miami, Florida, not far from the state of Florida, which is in just a 90-mile wide blue strip on a map for me. It divides freedom from fear. It divides the past from the present, from the future. I know all about the past. I'll never forget my own. My family has fled totalitarianism and communism more than once. First my dad from Spain, then from Cuba. But my families don't run away. By the grace of God, I live the American dream, the greatest blessing I ever had. My dad, who only had a 6th grade education, told me, "Don't lose this place. You'll never be as lucky as me." I'm speaking to you today because my family is done abandoning what we rightfully earned. There's no place to hide. I'm speaking to you today because President Trump may not always be politically correct. He's in fact a successful businessman, not your average career politician. Our president is just another family man, a friend, and most important, our elected commander-in-chief who puts America first. Keep in mind, the other guy running for president is mostly concerned about power. Yes, power for them, but not for the benefit of all Americans. I'm speaking to you today because I have seen people like this before. I've seen movements like this before. I've seen ideas like this before. And I am here to tell you, we cannot let them take over our country. I heard the promises of Fidel Castro, and I can never forget all those who grew up around me, who looked like me, who suffered and starved and died because they believed those empty promises. They swallowed the communist poison pill. If you have a chance, go to the Freedom Tower in Miami. Stop and listen. You can still hear the sounds of those broken promises. It is the sound of waves in the ocean carrying families clinging to pieces of wood. Families with children who can't swim, but willing to risk everything to reach this blessed land. It is the sound of tears hitting the paper of an application to become an American citizen. Most heard and liked the promises, but soon after, they experienced the reality. Look at them, listen to them, learn the truth. Those false promises: spread the wealth, free education, free health care, defund the police, trust the socialist state more than your family and your community. They don't sound radical to my ears. They sound familiar. When Fidel Castro was asked if he was a communist, he said he was a Roman Catholic. He knew he had to hide the truth. But the country I was born in is gone, totally destroyed. When I watch the news in Seattle, Chicago, Portland, and other cities, when I see the history being rewritten, when I hear the promises, I've heard echoes of the former life I never wanted to hear again. I see shadows I thought I had outrun. My parents only wanted one person to decide my fate: me. Not some party member, not some government official, not some bureaucrat. In America, I would decide my own future. I am so grateful to America, the place where I was able to build my American dream through hard work and determination. President Trump knows that the American story was written by people just like you and I, who love our country and take risks to build a future for our families and neighbors. I may be a Cuban-born, but I am 100% American. This is the greatest country in the world. And I said this before: if I gave away everything that I have today, it would not equal 1% of what I was given when I came to this great country of ours. The gift of freedom. Right now, it is up to us to decide our fate and to choose freedom over oppression. President Trump, he's fighting the forces of anarchy and communism. And I know he will continue to do just that. And what about his opponent and the rest of the DC swamp? I have no doubt they will hand the country over to those dangerous forces. You and I will decide. And here's what I've decided. My decision is very easy. I choose President Trump because I choose America.
I haven't been this inspired to save the country in a long time. My grandparents came over from Poland, Italy, and Puerto Rico. I remember stories of my grandfather having to make his underwear out of potato sacks because they were so poor. Despite part of my family being part Hispanic, I was never raised on victim mentality, feeling hateful, angry, completely ungrateful. Quite the opposite, exactly like Maximo, and I know his speech will resonate with millions of immigrants as well. I was taught hard work and respect. Some of my friends were Muslim, some of my friends were black, some of my friends were white. It was never a thing. It's the left wing that just uses race relations as a means to divide, destroy, and gain power. And it's just disgusting. They won't leave it alone. I've been reading this book, Color, Communism, and Common Sense, so I've been integrating it with some of my videos. From this man, Manning Johnson, who left the Communist Party and exposed the liberals, the progressives, the left-wingers, and the socialists who disguised themselves as helping the black community, even though what they were really doing was purposely destroying America and creating division and chaos to achieve power.
Manning Johnson said, "Black rebellion was what Moscow wanted. Bloody racial conflict would split America. During the confusion, demoralization and panic would set in. Then finally the Reds say, workers stop work. Many of them seize arms by attacking arsenals. Street fights become frequent. Under the leadership of the Communist Party, the workers organize revolutionary committees to be in command of the uprising."
This is from Chapter 7, Creating Hate. Keep in mind this was in the 1900s, so the language is a little different. The red propagandists distort the facts concerning racial differences for ulterior motives. All the right is not on the black side, neither is all wrong. The same holds true with regard to the white man's side. The repository of good and evil is not to be found in any particular race. Black men are just as good or as bad as white men. Yellow men are just as good or as bad as brown or red. It ill behooves anyone to speak about the other. White men sold white men as slaves. Black men sold black men as slaves. This is basically what Terry Crews was trying to say, and you see the media scorn him. You had the Black Lives Matter activists scorn him. Black Lives Matter, who say they are trained Marxists. Karl Marx was the founder of communism, so this isn't random, guys. This isn't just like a conspiracy theory. This is what's going on. They're purposely exploiting racial division to destroy the country and achieve power. And it's been written about for the last century. So although both parties have their flaws, and obviously both parties are corrupt, when it comes to authenticity, truth, safety, security, running a city, functioning as a society, potentially opening back up again, since Biden seems to be a lot more close happy than Trump, when it comes to this stuff, there's really only one clear choice, and I hate to be that person, but the left wing is completely spiraling, and the right wing is just getting more tolerant, more authentic, and open to more ideas. I mean,
the Democratic Party has become infected with a pandemic of intolerance, bigotry, socialism, anti-law enforcement bias, and a dangerous tolerance for people who attack others, destroy their property, and terrorize our own communities.
At a certain point, either you're going to watch this entire country crumble into a third world country, crumble into a chaotic hellscape like Portland or Seattle or every city when the media tells people it's okay to burn, destroy, riot, and calls them peaceful protesters when they take a resisted arrest out of context, which is not a new strategy, guys, and it's not random. It was written about over 70 years ago. We have a long way to go, but I wanted you to see those two powerful speeches that are more powerful, more honest, more authentic, and more important than literally any part of the Democratic National Convention. Any sane, rational, reasonable, honest, authentic person should be able to admit that. It's pretty clear. They're trapping people in fear, hate, negativity, and mainstream media brainwashing, running them in circles. And at a certain point, the truth is going to become even more obvious than it is now. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. I have a Patreon, I have a donor box, I have a PayPal. I'll be getting my live streams back soon, hopefully, and I'll see you again soon with more videos.